Adventure Time, one of the best and most iconic Western cartoon series of all time, is back, baby. Yes, the Adventure Time spin-off series, Fiona and Cake, is back with its second season on HBO Max, and it looks absolutely slapping. Oh, and I'm Finn. Oh, welcome back to Finn Films. I am a massive Adventure Time fan. I mean, I've lost track of just how many times I've watched this series from, start to finish. And to say that characters like Marcy, Beemo, Simon, Finn, and Jake hold a special place in my heart is, well, kind of a bit of an understatement. So that's why in today's video we're going to be going over, breaking down, and discussing everything that happened in Fiona and Cake Season 2, Episode 1. As well, I'll be finding and going over all of the hidden Easter eggs and references in this episode and series, as Fiona and Cake is absolutely filled to the brim with just so many little funny moments, Easter eggs, and references to the original Adventure Time series. As in Season 2, we will be following Fiona and Cake once again on their epic adventure, this time joined by Huntress Wizards as they try to save Finn from a mysterious poison. Fiona and Cake Season 2 Episode 1 opens with the little Fiona and Cake superfan Astrid recapping the events of Season 1 to Princess Bubblegum, Marcy, and Simon. As for a quick recap, in Season 1 we learned that Fiona and Cake's universe was created by Prismo the Wishmaster, who stored them within Ice King's mind. But after Ice King lost his powers, becoming Simon once again, Fiona and Cake's world lost its magic. Fiona and Cake then came to the world of Ooh. Accompanied by Simon, the three of them universe hopping to try to find a new magical crown, so that Simon could wear it, becoming the Ice King once again, and bringing magic back to their world. But throughout this journey, Fiona realized that she liked her world the way it was. Fiona returning home and saving her world from an evil bug creature who was hunting them down because they were an unauthorized universe. Simon as well had a major character arc, the man finally coming to terms with the loss of Betty and accepting his place in Ooh, now without his powers. Fiona and Cake's world gets made an official canon universe, and Fiona becomes her own person, instead of just a gender-swapped version of Finn. PB chiming in this recap, asking where Finn is. Simon saying he was off to see Huntress Wizard, which we saw back in Season 1, Episode 2 of Fiona and Cake, as Finn and Huntress Wizard are now a couple. We then flash over to Fiona's world as the girl in her insanely messy room wakes up, flipping through the channels where we get some fun references to sitcom TV shows like Friends, as well as a reference to the Adventure Time snail. Fiona then calls out the window to the apartment next door, where we see Cake now has her own place. The two of them eating breakfast together and then heading out the door as Fiona has a list of things she needs to do for Gary and his grand opening of his sweet store. We see Fiona's world is still in repair after the insane battle at the Season 1 finale. However, Fiona and Cake have become quite the local celebrities after saving the world, as we watch Fiona and Cake go on their errands, where they are confronted by Queenie, Fiona's former boss, who is, well, a bit of a bitch. They then go to a candy store to pick up some cocoa powder for Gary, Cake transforming into a more humanoid form, complete with Booba. As we see, this is the candy store of Incrom, the gender-flipped version of Lady Rainicorn. This making sense because, again, these are the gender-swap versions of Jake and Lady Rainicorn, who date and have a relationship in Adventure Time, so of course the gender-swap versions of them are going to have a thing for each other. Basically, if there's a romance or relationship in Adventure Time, expect the gender-flipped versions in Fiona and Cake to also have the same romance. Imcrom then gives Cake his number as Simon calls Fiona from Ooh. Simon checking in on Fiona, giving us a classic, "Hey girl."
Hey girl.
Fiona cringing as she sees a poster for her ex-boyfriend, DJ Flame. Again, Finn and Flame Princess dated and broke up in Adventure Time, so it only makes sense that DJ Flame and Fiona would date and break up in Fiona and Cake. We learn that Simon is now living with Marcy, though he feels awkward about being around PB, because, he used to kidnap her all the time as Ice King. We also learn that Simon is planning to teach a class at Wizards, the Wizard University. As well, we have a little fun Beemo reference here in this scene with this vending machine labeled Gmo. Fiona tells Simon the Sweet Spot's grand opening is tomorrow, as Simon wishes her luck, as we watch him pull out an orange, placing it on Choose Goose's grave, saying there's nothing that rhymes with orange. Choose Goose's grave having this hilarious rhyming scheme in classic Choose Goose fashion. As if we remember in Season 1, Simon used Choose Goose as kind of an arcane battery to try and contact Gold Betty, thus killing the goose. We then watch a lion come and steal the orange, as it is then hunted by Huntress Wizard through the forest, the lion seemingly being the same lion that was once the Vampire King. We then see Finn passed out in a cave, as he is then surrounded by 3 different Huntress Wizards. One wearing a cowbell, the other with strange bird eyes, and the third carrying the orange who squeezes the juice in his mouth. The real Huntress Wizard then arrives as we see that these other 3 are actually animals, a cow, an eagle, and the lion. As we realize that Finn is very badly hurt and poisoned, and is in a bit of a fever dream, his back having these gnarly scratch marks, which we saw him get in Season 1 when he fought the bear with Simon and then was flung into that strange bush in the heart of the forest. Back in Fiona's world, she and Cake arrive at the Sweet Spot, a little section on the street corner that will be the home of Gary's new sweet shop, a spot where Marshall Lee and LSP are living as well. As we see, the funny squirrel from Ooh has made its home with LSP, as the group together begin decorating this area for the grand opening for the Sweet Spot tomorrow. They are then interrupted by Hunter, the gender-swapped Huntress Wizard, who gives Fiona a rose bush. Fiona cutting her hand on the thorns as he helps clean the wound, the two sharing this wholesome little moment together. Back in Ooh, we see Huntress Wizard has tried everything to help remove the poison from Finn, but nothing is working, as she manages to get a few words out of him, specifically Bear and Simon. We then flash over to a strange high tower, as we see Fiona in a barbarian outfit, Cake transform into a strange creature, as the two battle wave after wave of oncoming warriors. This likely being a reference to the show that Fiona was watching earlier that morning. They cut down all the approaching warriors when they realized to their horror that these warriors are all of their friends. Gary, Marshall, LSP, Imkron, Hunter, and even Finn's dad, Martin. As we then see a completely feather-picked Chooskook sliding on the ground. Fiona and Cake being abruptly woken up when we see that this was all just a dream with some likely foreshadowing for the upcoming season. We see the gang all fell asleep at the Sweet Spot as they are greeted by Queenie and her thugs. Queenie revealing that she actually owns this property, as she kicks them all out. Back in Ooh, we are transported to Wizards for Simon's first day of teaching. We see Kadebra and Peppermint Butler in this class, the two kids now older since we last saw them in their Distant Lands episode. Kadebra being a lot taller now, and it seems Peppermint Butler is in a bit of his goth arc. Simon is teaching the history of magic artifacts, as on the table we see a set of dice for Dungeons & Dragons, the Enchiridion, as well as a dodecahedron. Shout out to all my fellow Joe Scott enjoyers. They are then interrupted by Huntress Wizard, who bursts in eagle form carrying Finn. Huntress demanding Simon tell her what has happened with Finn. Simon giving us a recap on him and Finn's little adventure in Season 1, when again Finn was attacked by the bear and then scratched up by the weird bush in the heart of the forest. Huntress telling Simon to keep Finn alive and then to forget everything he has heard about the heart of the forest as she leaves. Back over in Fiona's world, Queenie has kicked all of the gang out of the Sweet Spot, claiming all of their stuff is now hers as she is owed back rent, as Fiona vows to her friends to fix this and set it right. Back in Ooh, Huntress Wizard has journeyed to the heart of the forest, discovering the bush where Finn got messed up, as we see the green bear lurking behind her, as Season 2, Episode 1 of Fiona and Cake comes to an end. And yes, this was everything that happened in Adventure Time, Fiona and Cake Season 2, Episode 1, and God, am I so happy to have Fiona and Cake back. Really, I'm just so glad to have Adventure Time back in any form or fashion, full stop. When Adventure Time came to an end, there was like this real moment of like, kind of sadness. It was almost like the death of like my childhood in many ways. Adventure Time had grown from this show that was just kind of like a funny series of like, you know, just random episodic shows with like no plot through line to like this grand epic adventure filled with this really like set of like rounded characters telling really deep, intricate, like emotional stories of like relationships. And the fact that it actually managed to end, as many, you know, cartoon series and just series in general don't actually get a chance to end, was special, but also really sad at the same time. So whenever HBO acquired the rights to Adventure Time and then made the Distant Lands series and then followed up by the Fiona and Cake, you know, spin-off series, I was absolutely elated, as well as a bunch of the Adventure Time fan base who were so happy to get to see, you know, all of our favorite characters once again, joined by brand new, interesting characters, and mainly just returning to this awesome world of Ooh that many people grew up with. And I think that's one of the really cool things about Fiona and Cake, the series, is that it is geared more towards an older audience because it is on HBO. They have a higher, you know, rating, as they don't have to hold up to the same standards as like Cartoon Network did. So they can be more adult. They can show blood, they can make more adult jokes, and the fact that the characters are older now just means that they can touch on a lot more like serious and more adult kind of themes in this series, while still retaining that same kind of childlike charm and love and wonder of the world of Ooh, of just Adventure Time as a whole, and I absolutely love it. And one of my favorite things about Fiona and Cake as a hardcore Adventure Time fan is like all of the little nuggets of like lore, nuggets of like Easter egg and references to the original series hidden throughout this series, whether it's just like little background details or it's just characters, you know, saying lines that are obvious references to funny moments from the original Adventure Time series. series to me, while being a really good standalone series, is very much like a series for the hardcore fan, for the lover of the original Adventure Time series, as it is just scattered with all sorts of these fun references and moments that just make me, as a hardcore fan who has watched this show, so many freaking times, the original series, just absolutely gleeful every time I get to see a little Easter egg and reference. I also love that Fiona and Cake takes place in the future in this time-skipped world of the land of Ooh, so we get to see what all of our favorite characters have been up to over the last, like 10 plus years, whether that be like Finn, an adult human Finn who is just the same happy-go-lucky, just crazy Finn that he used to be, but now a jacked, just funny adult, in his relationship with Huntress Wizard, or the relationship between Marcy and Bubblegum, Peppermint Butler in his wizard arc at the Wizard School, just all of these characters. It's really fun getting to see, what has happened in the world of Ooh post-time skip since the end of Adventure Time. Again, I'm a massive fan of this series. Fiona and Cake Season 1 was an absolute banger. I really loved how they got to focus on, like, Simon Petrikov, Ice King's story after the loss of his powers. As the Ice King story, Ice King as a character is, like, one of the most, like, interesting, dynamic, and, like, characters that go through a massive character arc of, like, any character in Adventure Time, really just any character in media. Ice King is just an awesome, amazing character that, someone could do an hour-long video essay on this, this tragic backstory, the character progression that this character goes through, and I absolutely loved that about Season 1. Season 2, though, looks like it's going to focus much more on Fiona and Cake, as well as, Finn and Huntress Wizard, and their relationship, and really probably touching on a lot of things about Finn and during this time skip that we've seen, which I think is going to be absolutely awesome. I can't wait to see what, the story is going to unfold in Season 2 of Fiona and Cake, and all of the fun, interesting kind of lore references and filling in the blanks in the Adventure Time timeline that we've had so far. I'm absolutely in love with it. I can't wait to see more. I think it's going to be absolutely banger. As always, guys, if you enjoyed this video or learned something new, please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, as that is the easiest way to support me, and it really does go a long way in putting this video into the algorithm. Let me know in the comment section down below, are you excited about Fiona and Cake Season 2? And let me know any Easter eggs and references that you caught in Season 2, Episode 1. If you did like this video, guys, and want to check out some of my other content on screen now, like some of the other videos I've done over Adventure Time, I'll link them on screen now. Thank you again, guys, for watching. I hope to see you in the next one. Stay safe out there. Until next time, peace, love, auto.